Time to discuss the origin story. How's it going, guys? My name is Kieran. I'm the owner of Klean Kut Detailing, based here in Plymouth in the southwest of England, and welcome to the channel. So I was asked via an Instagram DM just to explain how Klean Kut came about and kind of what my origin story is, really. I briefly touched on this in the Q&A that I did for my very first video on the channel, but I've been asked for a bit more information. So I think it's only appropriate that I take you all the way back. So before Klean Kut was even considered, I started off with a company called LVD, which is Lake Valeting and Detailing. So that was my original company or original business. That was thought up whilst I was working at a call centre in, I'd say, mid 2020. This was probably about a year or so after I was introduced to detailing or correct car cleaning by my friend Mac, as I discussed in the Q&A. You can click up there and go watch that one. So after a kind of a string of really terrible jobs, I realised that the problem was actually the jobs themselves. It was just more my ethic when it came to work. I didn't like the way that a lot of these companies ran, how they treated their staff, and just how they were in general. Now, maybe it's just like the neurodivergency in me that kind of didn't like being told what to do. But to me, it felt like I didn't like the way I was being told what to do. It kind of didn't sit right with me. And you'll probably often find in a lot of jobs, no, I'm not saying every job, but in a lot of jobs, managers and kind of people higher up often abuse their power and they kind of think they're better than you. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. So after a bit of brainstorming with a friend of mine called James, he helped me come up with the name LVD. And whilst I sat there taking calls from customers, I'd be kind of doodling out a logo and stuff. And eventually I created this. And so began my journey on trying to become a full-time detailer. When I tell you it was a bumpy road, I mean it was a bumpy road. So obviously LVD was born. I started marketing to friends and family saying, look, here's my price. I think at the time I was charging like £25 for an inside-outside detail. I was like, look, these are my prices. I'll clean your car. You won't get better service anywhere else. And so a couple of people booked in, the first of which being a Ford Focus, which belonged to an old colleague of mine at the call centre. Now, don't get me wrong, the detail wasn't perfect, and it's far from what the standards of my details are now and what I consider a good detail. But obviously just starting out, 25 quid, you can't really complain. Like, I mean, it still came out great, but it's nowhere near the standard of detail that I do now. I mean, I started off with the Demon Shine hose attachment bottles from Halfords. I'll throw up a picture on the screen. That was what they were. I think I maybe had 3 to 5 detailing brushes. It was one of the Halfords packs again. Most of my stuff was from Halfords. It was the only place I really knew that you could get car cleaning products from at the time. I had their waffle weave glass towels. Those waffle weave towels were terrible, absolutely terrible. I didn't even have a pressure washer at the time, so all I would do is I'd take off the hose connection and I'd put my thumb over the end and just spray over the car, just because obviously it gave it a bit more power and just kind of a bit more of an ability to cut through the dirt and grime. And obviously, whilst I'm building up the business, I'm just absolutely throwing myself into the YouTube detailing space, watching Ammo NYC, Epic Automotive Detailing, Detail Groove, people like that. And it just, it became kind of borderline obsession with wanting to develop my craft, which, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I'm not, like, by no stretch of the imagination is that a bad thing. And if anything, that probably kind of helped me in the long run, because obviously I was learning techniques which I could then practice on my own car. Obviously I wasn't having a lot of clientele come through, so I was able to put everything that I'd learned into practice. Because the only other thing I could really think of was reading books, and anybody who knows me knows I struggle to read a book, so I will often listen to audiobooks instead. I don't have the attention span for that, I'm afraid. But unfortunately, kind of after about 3 to 4 months, I kind of fell off with the detailing stuff. I wasn't really seeing the results I wanted to see in that time frame, which obviously looking back at it was a stupid mindset to have, because it's not going to just boom straight away. So fast forward to I left the call centre and I started at an estate agent as a property manager. And it was at that job that I met my friend Jamie, who introduced me properly to the car scene. I'd been to car meets and stuff before that, but it didn't really feel like my scene. I felt very out of place, and I didn't really have many people to talk to, so I wouldn't really go that often. Jamie kind of forced me in the deep end. I met many of my what I would consider my closest friends. I've had some of my greatest memories as part of the car scene and part of the car club, Secret Society. Big shout out to them, by the way. But after a while of me and Jamie being friends, we kind of got onto the topic of, I clean cars, I want to be a detailer. And then she decided to book in. She had a Ford Fiesta Z-Tech S at the time. Absolutely fantastic car, like very tastefully modified. I'll throw up a picture here if she gives me permission to show it. I can't see why I should say no, but yeah. Your butt, no butt. Your butt, no butt. But no, so thanks to Jamie for obviously introducing me to the car scene. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic a little bit. I meet Jamie, she kind of introduced me to the car scene. I then get that love back for detailing, and I'm really trying to push it at this point as LVD. It was probably about 6 or 7 months of really pushing LVD again that my friend Kieran joined at the estate agents. I originally met Kieran at the call centre. After a little bit of time, we both realised this wasn't really the job for us. This isn't going to give us the life that we both want. So we decided to join forces and create Klean Kut Detailing. So obviously I changed everything that was to do with LVD. I changed that over to Klean Kut, and we kind of went really aggressive with the marketing for that, sending out weemails, posting in various Facebook groups, things like that. After a little bit of time though, we did realise that, the name Klean Kut Detailing is already trademarked. What we're going to do? And luckily our friend Hannah came in clutch and said, why don't you just change it to Klean Kut with K, seeing as it's Kieran and Kieran? And we absolutely loved the idea. So then Klean Kut Detailing that you know today was born, and we carried on with that. We carried on aggressively marketing everything, post like wherever we could, telling whoever we could, eventually getting our business cards put in places like National Tyres. There's a couple of our flyers and our business cards in Vosper's, things like that. We then went on to do some really nice details. We had a Jag XSF, I believe it's called, which I'll throw up here. But that was a big moment for us, because that was the first time we'd had a detail book in. That was someone that we had no idea who they were. They were an absolute stranger to us, and it was a huge moment, going from just doing friends and families cars, or like friends of friends, to now a complete stranger. It was fantastic. It was a real confidence boost for us. I'll put it that way. I then went on to do my friend Mac's wedding car. Again, I'll throw up a photo here. Yet another just absolute boost in confidence for me and for Kieran and for the business, just knowing that someone trusted us enough to do their wedding car. And I think I went into it briefly in the Q&A, but Mac absolutely loves his cars, and he doesn't just let anybody touch his cars. So to be trusted to do it was absolutely phenomenal. It's kind of at that point, things started to go downhill a little bit. I think it was about 2 to 3 months later, Kieran unfortunately had to make the decision to leave just due to family commitments. That did then mean that I was back at square one. I was back to doing it by myself. I wasn't confident enough in myself to think, can I do this? Do I have the ability to keep this business going by myself? I carried on pushing through. The marketing's not as aggressive now, just I don't. Oh, f*** off. I don't have the mental capacity right now to do everything myself. I really struggle from time to time. As I've mentioned before, I am neurodivergent, so I really struggle to keep myself focused a lot of the time. So like, even doing something like this, I had to drag myself out of the house to come out here and film this, because this is about an hour away from my house, but I love this spot, so I decided this is where I'll do it. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked again. So at this point, Kieran's left the business. I'm doing it all by myself. I'm getting a couple more jobs in slowly but surely building up a clientele at the time. But as of 2024, so April 2024, I then went full-time with the business. I felt confident enough in my ability that I was able to keep the business going and to make it a viable option for an income. That was 5 months ago now. So 5 months of being full-time. It's been a struggle. It's been a huge adjustment to my life. Obviously, from seeing people every single day at like normal jobs to maybe a fair few days of the week being sat by myself just at the computer doing research, doing advertising, stuff like that. It's been a huge shock. The one thing I'll say is if you do go self-employed with something like detailing or just anything where you're not going to be dealing with people a lot of the time, make sure you keep in touch with your friends. It does get awfully lonely and it does take a toll on your mental health. On a more serious note, Klean Kut was kind of born out of necessity, or this detailing journey was more born out of a necessity for me. I've always wanted to work for myself. I've done various other ventures in the past, whether that be web design, graphic design, photography. I did Twitch streaming for a bit, but I've always wanted that freedom to work when I want. The only person to kind of hold me accountable is myself. Like there's no one else to blame in this business. If something goes wrong, it's on me, and I prefer that. It means I don't get blamed for other people's messes. That was a huge gripe with old jobs for me, was somebody else messed something up, but you'd always get the blame. You find it all the time. But I also wanted to kind of give back. A lot of my friends struggle with mental health issues and they can't really deal with normal day-to-day jobs. And for me, I kind of want to grow this to a point where I can bring them on, do what they can, and I'll pick up the slack from there. I don't have a problem with that at all. But I've always wanted to help others in that sense, and hopefully Klean Kut will continue on an upwards trajectory and I can eventually do that. But for now, one-man band, making silly little videos, delivering great work, and just generally try my best. But I apologise for the kind of convoluted, all over the place story time there. I do really appreciate if you stuck through to the end. It really means a lot. And obviously for friends and family who've supported me along the way with Klean Kut, I greatly appreciate everything you've done for me. But enough of the soppy stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and leave me a comment down below on what you'd want me to do in the future, video ideas, or just little funny things that you'd want me to do. And I'll see about getting that in the work. But for now, anyway, that's enough from me. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.
I'm an ancient being, I've been trying this shit for a million years. I could go anywhere, but I like it.
Bye.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, and one more thing. If you're in the Plymouth area or surrounding areas and you're looking for a detailer, make sure to give me a message on either Instagram, head over to the website, or drop me an email.